Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I am Penguin, and I would like to welcome you to Antiga Shipyard, MLG Antiga Shipyard, as we can see by these lovely little supply depots down here, where I'm going to be bringing you a game of the highest caliber, a TVT between Quantic Incredible Miracle MVP, QIMMvp, and Startail Bomber over in the right position. It's going to be cross-spawn. The MLG map, I believe, enforces cross-spawn, so this is not abnormal, and I believe that allows them to already know where their opponents are. So moving right into this, of course we know MVP, well regarded to be probably the best Terran player in the world. Startail Bomber not far behind him. Both of them Koreans, both of them, I believe both of them are, I know MVP is Code S. I believe Bomber is also Code S in the GSL. And yes, MVP is going to be sending his first scout out cross map. And he does know, that shows he does know where Bomber is, but I wonder if because Bomber hasn't sent out a scout yet, I'm wondering if MVP is sending this early SCV over here to proxy barracks him. Barracks is not going down over here, and he is getting that money up, and he's running into the third. Looks like it is going to be a proxy barracks opening from MVP. Throws it down right there in Startail Bomber's natural third expansion over there. Bomber hasn't scouted anything. He has no scout on the way to MVP's base. No way to know this is coming. It's going to be very interesting to see whether he'll be able to deal with this. Himself just putting down his barracks at the front right now. Grabbing gas as well. Leads me to believe he will probably be favoring a factory opening, but those Marines, Marauders, whatever he decides to go, whatever MVP decides to go, will be there mighty soon, and I don't even know if Bomber's barracks is going to be finished by the time the first units start marching up that ramp. This could be a very, very quick GG from Bomber if he doesn't do something pretty quickly. Meanwhile, back home, MVP's also grabbed his gas, just started mining off that right now, and still going pretty heavy on the SCV production here. And there is going to be a tech lab going down on that, so that does mean Marauders will be on their way out relatively soon. Marauders obviously very, very strong against buildings and really anything. Yep, there's the factory coming down from Startail Bomber, both of them going for their orbital commands right now as well. Second supply depot at the front for MVP. Looks like he's going for this wall off, whereas Bomber just wants his thing a little further to the front. MVP scout gets in there, sees absolutely everything, no secrets. Concussive shells on the way. That will do wonders against Marines, allowing the Marauders to be able to kite them really easily. This SCV is going to be moving over here. Looks like he might be proxying a starport over here in the close by air position. And it is going to be one SCV and one Marauder pushing up this ramp, getting ready to do something. And yes, this SCV is hiding over here. It will almost certainly be a proxy starport. And oh no, these guys going in the front. He's being a little bit preoccupied right now. He is throwing down the starport over there. One Hellion is on its way out, and the concussive shells are not done yet, but they should be done momentarily. That'll allow him to kite these SCVs really easily. Second Marauder coming up here to reinforce as well. A bunker is going down, but for the one Marine, two Marines are now off the Bomber, and I don't know if that bunker is going to be able to get up. He's losing workers left, right, and center over here. This starport is going to have to be worth its weight in gold. These Marauders taking almost no damage, just killing so many workers here. Bring up the... I don't know where the workers lost. His kill tab is. Okay, we'll not bring up the workers kill tab then. Third Marauder coming in here to join up. The bunker looks like it is about to finish. One Marauder does fall to the Hellion. He gets one final SCV and will pull away. Having a lead of now 5 workers, army supply is even, and that factory is going to move forward to the front to complete that little wall off. A tech lab on its way down for the starport. A Reaper coming up for MVP to allow him some pretty easy scouting information into Bomber's base. But these Banshees are probably going to be pretty deadly. Whoops, wrong button. I can't find this kill tab. Whatever. Oh, and Hellion is going to be coming up the front. There is a wall off. We'll not be able to get inside that base. There is a command center coming up here as well. A tech lab going down on the factory. The starport's just starting to come up, and there is a barracks queued, a second barracks queued as well. That Hellion will not get away with its life, nor does it manage to kill that last Marauder. 2 kills on this Marauder, 1 kill on this Marauder. Not too deadly at this point. He has lost 11 units though. Oh, there's a Reaper in the base. Did get a couple of kills off on that, but yeah, and more importantly is the scouting information he got. He saw the second command center going up. So far, there's nothing building that again. He's only now just starting to build it again. This barracks flying its way home. There's the first Banshee coming in right now. 1 kill. And he's focusing down the Mule. Fantastic control by STBomber there. And the SCVs are going to start repairing each other, but it doesn't matter. One of them does fall, another one falling, and another one falling. There are already 6 kills on this Banshee, already doing more than those Marauders could ever hope to do, and these SCVs are just evacuating. The Marauders are obviously not anti-air. There is nothing he can really do against this. Coming home again, allowing the Banshee to get a couple more shots off, but he obviously feels like he needs to be able to get that mining done, otherwise he's just denying him more mining time than these SCVs are worth. A Viking does finally come out, will be able to clean this up, but not before that. Banshee manages a whopping 12 kills. No, no, they're gonna repair each other. Oh, he does get a 13th kill though. 13 worker kills by STBomber. Looking at the worker supply, it was 5 in favor of MVP, now it is 5 in favor of Bomber. That Banshee was magnificent. These Marauders will manage to take this starport out. A medevac popping out. That's going to be a little bit of a free birthday present for MVP there. The Viking should be able to chase down the starport and deal enough damage to get it at least in the red and then have it burn itself to death. Little tech lab here. Not doing much there. A couple of Hellions out front for MVP. His expansion is just finishing up at the same time as Bombers. Both of them morphing into those orbitals almost in tandem. More and more Hellions are popping out for MVP. He does still have the supply lead. Despite still being down 5 in workers, he has a much larger army. 5 Marines marching over to the front just to deal with these. Keep that starport alive. Very important for him that he keeps that starport alive. Doesn't want it to fall. That's obviously a very important tech structure. But these Hellions are going to come over. They do have Blue Flame, and they'll be able to clean that up with ease. Does lose that Marauder, but well worth it for the starport, and those 5 tasty Marines. Barbecued Marines are my favorite. Not saturating this base quite yet, but does have the orbital in place and will be putting that starport down on that tech lab, start producing a Banshee. This barracks still sort of floating here idly, not really doing much. Hellions being popped out 2 at a time from this factory though, and he, STBomber, as opposed to MVP, has saturated his natural, which at this point doesn't have very much defense other than these Marines, which get roasted so easily by Hellions. So, oh, but a drop in the main. These Hellions are going to do absolute horror damage to STBomber's mineral line here. He is splitting them very, very well, but he's losing a large number of those SCVs. Only 2 Hellions have now fallen. Very good micro to keep those alive as long as possible, but he will end up losing them all. He's going to continue microing around, trying to get one last worker killed. Does not do it. Back to the army supply tab. All of a sudden, it seems to be going in swings of 5. MVP once again, 5 in the lead, 6 in the lead now. But, wow. This has just been an all-out battle of harassment here. Looking at the units lost tab, Bomber is not faring so well over there. Absolutely tons of production in EQ for MVP, who is supply blocked at the moment. It's going to be a while till this finishes, but he's grabbing 2 more. He's grabbing those Hellions 2 at a time, getting those Banshees 1 at a time. There is a medevac full of Hellions once again pushing out across the map. This Banshee is doing absolute not that much damage. He's focusing down that Marauder. Only has a 1 kill now, but these are, if he can pick off those Marauders, those Marines should be very, very easy for these Hellions to deal with, especially with them popping out 2 at a time like they are. And this Banshee is going to do lots of damage. There is a cloak done. The cloak is done, but those Hellions are going to fall very, very quickly. SCVs and Mules being pulled. The Mules just sort of there as moral support. They don't actually have an attack. A bit of a misclick there by him, this box selecting, but he holds off Bomber's assault with relative ease. Have these Hellions gotten in? The Hellions did get in. Seem to have done a very good amount of damage here. None of them did survive, though. Yeah, actually the worker supply is practically even at this point. Army supply is heavily favoring MVP at this point, though. And the Banshee is going to be in the base. 2 Banshees in the base, just taking out this little supply depot. Doesn't want to get too far in. He knows there's a missile turret there. Does he know there's a missile turret there? Yes, he knows there's a missile turret in there. Will be coming in, trying to pick off that tech lab. Instead, going to be focusing down the barracks. But, not sure I like that. I feel like he could have probably picked off that tech lab with relative ease. He does cloak. We'll try to get a few of those units. Very good scan by Bomber. Will he be able to take this out? The Hellions come in reinforcing and save that Banshee. Very low health. The other Banshee has enough to cloak, but the very low health Banshee does not have enough energy to cloak at the moment. A 3rd Banshee coming in to reinforce. These Hellions are doing absolute I keep saying that today, but these Hellions are doing horrific damage to the Marines. The Marauders are able to do very, very well against the Hellions, but they obviously cannot shoot up, and as soon as those Marines are gone, there's nothing to focus down these Banshees. The army of Bomber is absolutely getting decimated here, and the Hellions are all taken out, and finally he will scan and force those Banshees to retreat. A couple of Hellions here. The Banshees are going to poke back into the main. Now they will go for that Tech Lab. Tech Lab is researching Combat Shield. Will he get the cancel on that? He won't! And that is wasted resources, wasted time more than anything. And wow, Bomber is falling further and further behind in this absolute battle of me saying absolute over and over. Wow, I have to stop that. This is a battle of the utmost, what's the word I'm looking for? Harassment skill. Wow, I can't talk today. Anyway, moving out across the map once again for the third time with a full medevac of these Hellions. Going to be amassing a little bit of a force here. Does have that Viking in there to do damage to those Banshees. To counter those Banshees, does have the Marauders. If he keeps the Marauders in front, he should be able to counter those Hellions pretty easily. But the problem at this point is that MVP does have a lot more in the way of army supply. Even though he's been supply blocked, I think that's the second or third time he has been supply blocked. There is a sensor tower up. You will be able to scan to sense this. To see this medevac coming if it moves any closer to the base. There is a scan going off, seeing not much that he doesn't know about. He only sees that sensor tower. Everything else he already knows about in there. I assume he wanted to see maybe the army, but the army's down here, spread out very well. Hellions attacking will not be able to hit that very well. There is a third base coming up for Bomber, opting to make it as well into an orbital command. Oh, the army is moving out across the map here. He is going to be getting all of these forces up here. Is siege mode done? Siege mode is, in fact, researched. Yes, siege mode is done. These tanks are just not sieging up, though, and they need to siege up before that army gets there. Third base for MVP is up. Nothing really going on there yet. The Hellions are dropped in the main, doing terrible, terrible damage. Hellions in the back of the mineral line. Blue Flame obviously roasting those SCVs so quickly. SCVs going down left, right, and center. The Marauders do take them out with relative ease, but those Hellions just do damage so fast. They have already been worth their weight in gold. It looks like he's going to be elevatoring units up into the third, or just going, oh yeah, he's just often to take the rocks down. And MVP is not aware of this. Right now, looking in at the unit station, he does have, yeah, Bomber has gone for a lot of Marauders because he knows that there's that heavy mech and heavy amount of lots of Hellions. There are Vikings in the air to defend those Banshees, though, and it looks like MVP should easily have enough to hold us off should he choose to push in. 8 Marauders moving across the map, though, could be enough to make the difference, but this barracks is going to see that entire army. And the third base is now down for both of them. This Tech Lab will be able to see that that base is, in fact, mining. Planetary Fortress has been put up by MVP. Bomber trying to get back in the economy, trying to get back that equilibrium in the economy by choosing to make his an orbital command. Obviously much more difficult to defend, but it does allow him those mules. Looking in at the worker supply. Once again, the lead is only 5. Lead is 5 for MVP, but MVP also has a commanding lead in the army supply. His tanks are sieging up. And 2 tanks against 6 tanks, that just isn't very much. He's going to be leapfrogging his tanks forward slowly but surely. There's a PDD there as well to prevent any sort of... Ooh, going to be moving forward here with his Banshees, just picking off a lone Marauder. Now just a blood spatter on the ground over there. The scans going off both sides. He does stem in, and he's going in. Startail Bomber looking to clear up this entire army, but the tanks are just too many. He's getting absolutely torn apart here, and Bomber... GG's. MVP destroying Bomber in that game, in that final engagement. The stim just being cleared up so easily by these tanks. He didn't manage to pick off a single tank. Only the roasted carcasses of those Hellions on the ground, but wow. Big mistake by Bomber. Probably felt like he just had to clear that up now or never. He knew that MVP had more of... Actually, MVP was behind in SCVs at that point, but... MVP played incredibly well in that game, just harassing left, right, and center, taking out those SCVs as if they were dog treats being fed to a hungry bulldog. That was a horrible analogy. Anyway, I've been Penguin. Thank you for tuning in and dealing with my obsession with the word absolute, which apparently now exists.